The excitement that would rise up in me on this road, this exact road that you're looking at right now, this drive into the desert, it would feel so full of potential and adventure and discovering what felt like places that no one had ever been before. And this day in particular was a really interesting opportunity to observe the reflections of the landscape in the music that had started to emerge, now that there was structure as some of the core parts of the music started to develop. Really, in the words, the lyrics and the expression, it feels like a song that's kind of questioning why we're here and how we live in relationship to land and to nature and the signals that we're given, whether we listen or not. It feels like that's really come through. These lyrics, chasing dreamlike moments, feels like we're super busy trying to find these like incredible moments that bring us joy and bring us happiness. And often they're in nature, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I also think that those moments really are just what's happening in here. And it's almost as if we need that outer landscape and that moment where the light and the shapes and the atmosphere is just right to bring that joy or that love or that inspiration into us. And that's certainly like how I've looked at my adventures and discovering new places. And that moment the other night in the Hidden Valley, it just blew me away. And afterwards I was like, why can't I feel like this all the time? And I think that's really come through in the expression of the track. I headed back, knowing that the next day would be my last full day here in the desert. And I knew I had quite a bit of work to do, getting the track to a place where I would be happy leaving. My second to last morning started slow, allowing myself to stretch into some of those experiences. My yoga practice has always been an opportunity for me to integrate and process things that are happening in my life. And it felt so important to do exactly that here. Both my mind and my body needed it. All right, let's record some of these vocals in. Chasing dreamlike moments, finding peace in the surreal. I find I'm always seeking someplace that I can feel. There's like a real longing feeling in this song, longing for something, and I feel like being in this like vast open space, the desert, it's like you're longing for something, like water or shelter, or it's like quite a desolate, lonely place. Even if it's incredibly beautiful, you know, it can be quite, I don't know, it kind of gives me that sort of feeling. Like this kind of like calling out. Yeah, so let's see where that goes. I'm chasing dreamlike moments, finding peace in the surreal. I I'm not super into like synthesis and like developing sound from scratch. So I love having super easy UIs where I can kind of get what's in my head fairly easily. And apart from that, most other things are externally recorded in, which honestly just makes so much of a difference. It really gives it some kind of texture and atmosphere that I often can't find when I'm using VSTs alone. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up layering some of these vocals out, adding some harmonies, and yeah, let's see how that goes. Who am I without? By this point, I'd been at the computer for so long, I just needed some space from the track and the process and the work. And during this time, it actually dawned on me that something I do quite often is test drive my tracks, literally, in a car, through the sound system, and see how they sound and feel. And I thought, what better place to do that than here, right on the land that's inspired the very song itself. So I went out for a cruise to see if I could feel into anything else that was missing from the track. Dust in my nose. It's something waits for It's so funny. The process of music production, particularly electronic music production, is really not that glamorous. It's hours and hours, and sometimes I feel more like a programmer than an artist. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about a little, some kind of fun resampling of some audio from the camera, actually. And I've made a decent amount of the drums with it, actually, so I'll just solo some of these. So there's this first bit, which I just love, and I honestly, I don't know what it is, but the first day, this that was just me, dad camming hard. I pressed record and just like was holding the camera and doing some other stuff. But yeah, while I was moving around, it was recording. I was just like, that is a cool sound. Really organic. And so yeah, I ended up using that there. Lots of reverb, bit of processing. And then also I took some of the gravelly, deserty footsteps and turned them into the snare. Adds so much nice texture. I've kind of layered it up in a few parts. So if you add that to the drums, you get this. I think I'm probably gonna work on that a little bit more, but yeah, it adds so much texture and variety and gives it that good old desert vibe. Which kind of the intention for this, really, to try and bring some external influence. And I was actually going to do some Foley recording anyway to turn into percussive elements, so it was just really nice that accidentally happened on the first day. And now I'm gonna head into the park one last time. I've been thinking a lot about the process of finishing this track here, because usually that mix down and final touches process is quite iterative and usually spread out over a week or two. And I don't really want to do that here because it's, number one, I need time away from the music to come back to it and then mix it down, usually a few days. And then I like to just listen to it with fresh ears every couple of days from that point, just to see if there are any minor tweaks that need to be made. And so I'll probably do that outside of this video, but I just wanted to let you know that that's part of the process that will happen. And then I'll probably release it as a track that will be up on Spotify. And yeah, that'll be it. And that feels really exciting. And like I said, this whole process is so new to me. This is the first one, so things might change. The whole workflow might evolve and change, but yeah, we'll see. The sun is rising behind me. It's a beautiful morning in the desert. It's pretty cold. It's the first time I've worn this fleece the whole trip. It's my last morning here, and before I kind of close this whole trip up, I thought it would be nice to do a little acoustic version of the track. It began acoustically, and I thought it would be nice to, now I've got a full set of lyrics and a song structure, so it'd be nice to do a little stripped back version at sunrise. Haven't had any time to practice it really, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, it is so beautiful here. Dust and monoliths chasing dreamlike moments, finding peace in the surreal. I found I'm always seeking someplace that I can feel. Who am I without these signals from the clouds? Pay close attention now. Before we close this out, where are we without these signals? Who are we without these rituals? Where are we without these signals? Who are we without these rituals? I'm chasing dreamlike moments, I'm finding peace in the surreal. I find I'm always seeking someplace that I can feel. So that was my super basic and slightly rough around the edges stripped back acoustic version of the track. But thanks for listening, thanks for being part of this new adventure. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next one.